Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the Bass Blaster, and this is your Seafoam Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing. Number 1, Austin Felix. Here's some facts about Austin. Number 1, he just won his first blue trophy. Number 2, he sounds sleepy, but he's a bass assassin. Got to give credit to Dave Mercer for that nickname. Number 3, he wears plaid jammy pants during the day while he's fishing. How awesome is that? Big congrats to him for the BassMaster Elite Series win on Lake.
And it goes, wah, wah.
Okay, it's Oahe, or I think that's how you pronounce it. He drop shotted in Carolina rigged on main lake points, just a couple, and they had to have a sharp drop next to him, like 80 feet. And yes, I said Carolina rigged. Believe it or not, Austin said that one time he also won a different smallmouth tournament like 20 years ago on the upper Mississippi, Carolina rigging for smallmouths. This time around, he gave credit to Lee Livesey, who he fished next to, for turning him onto it. We're going to talk about that more in a second, but congrats, Flannel Man. Number 2.
Said I'm gone to Carolina in my mind.
Carolina rigging for smallmouths? I mean, with drop shots, Ned rigs, small swim baits, and forward-facing sonar, why is that even a thing? I don't know for sure, but I'm going to say it was a combination probably of crowding, a bunch of guys on one spot, and they couldn't or didn't want to get right over the fish. Roaming fish, smallmouth roam, wind and waves making finessier presentations tough, hard, difficult to feel. And maybe other stuff I'm forgetting. Skylar Hamilton said before the tournament that Carolina rigs are a great way to cover water too. So maybe add them into or back into your smallmouth arsenal. Number 3. Spencer Shuffield, son of legendary Bass Pro Ron Sheffield, got his first major win this weekend at the Major League Fishing Pro Circuit Title Championship on the St. Lawrence River in New York. Big congrats to you, man. He has been real consistent since coming back to fishing about 4 years ago, or I should say national fishing. He was fishing just around home during that break, and a real fascinating deal on BassBlaster how he really used that time in those tournaments to get rid of all the mistakes he was making. But anyway, he's been knocking on the door the last couple of years. He won this one. He was drop shotting and using a Ned rig. More on that drop shot bait in a second, but first, number 4. Texas fisherman Dakota E Bear finished second at the title championship after just finishing second at the Pro Circuit tournament on Lake Champlain, Vermont, New York, just before that. And the 2 tournaments in the Pro Circuit before those 2, he finished 3rd and 2nd. And not only that, in the Bass Pro Tour, the last 2 tournaments, which are tougher than the Pro Circuit tournaments, in my opinion, he finished 6th and 3rd. You think this guy's knocking on the door? You think this guy's not going to sink those proton torpedoes?
Almost there.
Covering the sport for a couple decades, I've seen it happen many times where guys get a bunch of seconds and then they start winning. 2 guys that come to mind right away from that are Aaron Martins, love you, man, and Edwin Evers. I love you too, man. Expect Dakota to start winning. He is knocking on the door, and that door is going down. Number 5. There's been one bait that's been dominant for the winners and some of the top finishers at these smallmouth tournaments. Can you guess what it is? Here's a hint. Max
Power.
Close. It's actually Max Scent. And specifically, of course, Berkeley Max Scent, and in this case, it's the flatworm, Berkeley Max Scent flatworm. Everybody who fishes for smallmouths knows about that bait now, but about 3 years ago, Josh Bertrand and Justin Lucas kind of outed it to the whole world when they were crushing smallmouths on it on TV, first at Bass and then at Major League Fishing. Here's the thing, though. This year, it's one color, too, that's crushing them. Those 3 wins on it so far, which are the Oahe Elite, the Title Championship, and the Oneida Open, they all use the Berkeley Max Scent Flatworm in this one color, and guess what it is? It is not green pumpkin, it is not some goby color, it is brown back. So snap some of it up if you can find them, peeps. That's all I got for you this week. Thank you, Seafoam. Go to bassblaster.com or .rocks to sign up for the BassBlaster email. or hit subscribe or follow here to make sure you don't miss another one of these. See you next week. God bless you. Boom, man.